Hey Raindrops, now before we get into this video, I want to talk to you about joining my community. Yes, my YouTube community of subscribers. So make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. It helps build the channel and build our community. I love it when you guys comment and post. So remember, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel.
You look really amazing.
Thank you, Carlos.
No, you do. You look good. Now, where's your man? Because he look good too. Can he come and say hi really fast on camera? Or is he that
say
shy?
hi, of course.
What's up? How's it going?
He wasn't prepared to be on camera.
I know. How's it going?
Everything going good. What's going on with you?
Well, listen, man. I'm just waiting to talk to your beautiful fiance because I am a huge fan of hers. I think she's doing some fantastic work so far from what I've seen. And I am invested in what you guys have going on. And I'm invested in your lady. And apparently the world is invested in y'all relationship. So just so you know, Darius. So listen, I'm from the D and the Lions are 9-1.
Hey, much credit to him. Look, I give y'all props. The Lions doing their thing this year.
Okay, good. But you're my guy, so we're gonna root for the Cowboys too.
Right. Of course. I'm going whoever brought them chicks.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk to your lady, but listen, is there anything you want to say to the audience? And obviously, if you happen to be around, I wouldn't mind you coming back, and Jazzy can call you back in. But we're gonna get down to business on this conversation.
Okay. Well, look, y'all have fun at it. I'm here for her support and just here to, make sure everything flows smoothly and everybody see the lady that I get to see every day.
Speaking of seeing, can we see your Instagram page? Can you unprivate it?
How many times did I tell you that?
It was on private and I put it back on, but I make it public.
He's such a private person. He's like, I don't want it to be public.
I let Jazz live in the spotlight. She do enough.
No, baby, you've been living in the spotlight. Stop.
I know you just want it. What's your before I let you go? What's your sign?
Capricorn.
What's your sign, Carlos?
I'm a Libra.
Okay, you must know a few Capricorns.
That's what it is.
Okay.
In case
you a Leo? Okay. So I'm gonna read the Capricorns, okay? You ready for this?
Yeah, enlighten us.
Are you okay? Were you born the month of January?
Yes. Hold on.
All right. All right. Listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth, but please come back at the end. I don't want to scare you away. But Capricorn, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. Capricorns are very confident.
That's
very
true.
confident.
He's confident, that's for sure.
Very smart.
For sure, 1000%.
Arrogant.
When he wanna be, yeah.
They are very traditional.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And when it comes to their career, 9 times out of 10, that comes first.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so was I right?
Yeah, I agree with some of those things, most of those things.
Yes, Carlos Cleo, you was right, baby.
I agree with
Coming to the
some.
light. We'll be calling you later for a session because I want to hear more about the Capricorn.
Yes, call me now.
I'll call you now, baby. I'll be calling you.
Yes. All right, Darius. Nice meeting you, man. And don't go away too far.
All right, y'all have fun.
Here we go. All right, thanks, bro.
So what's up, Carlos? What you got going on? What's going on, honey? Because
you are the topic of conversation. Well, let me say hi to the Raindrops. Hi, Raindrops. On today's episode of Reality with the King. Yes,
hello.
The Raindrops.
Heard so much about the Raindrops. I know y'all don't play about Carlos. Very thankful to be on the platform. They don't play now.
You heard about the raindrops?
I heard about the raindrops. I heard about the raindrops. They're not to be played with when it comes to Carlos, okay? And rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Listen.
And rightfully so.
They don't play about me at all. And I don't play about them. And we are very honest people. So myself, including the raindrops, we are liking what we're seeing. So welcome, Jazzy, to Reality with the King. I am so happy to have you on. I know for a fact that you have been bombarded with interview requests. So I'm very grateful and thankful that you decided to hop on my podcast. And I just want to say, welcome to my world.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All hail the King, Carlos. I am so grateful as well to be here and just to have the opportunity to be on your platform. Listen, when you hear the word and you hear the name Carlos King, you know you're going to get authenticity. You know you're going to get some questions answered that needs to be answered. And you know you're going to leave that podcast feeling like he knows what he's talking about. So it's an honor to be here just as much as being on the show for you. It's a true honor. So thank you for having me on today. I'm excited to say some things and, make it make sense.
No, we're gonna make it make sense, baby. So I want to really get to know you. So talk to me about you. So Jazzy, like your background, where you're from, and you are a very, very beautiful woman. So did you grow up like being that queen bee in high school? Did you always dress to the nines? Were the girls jealous of you? Are you a girl's girl? Like, give me your background really quickly.
Yes, absolutely. So I definitely grew up a girl's girl. I was always a pageant girl. I was one of two Black cheerleaders at my high school growing up. Me and the other Black cheerleader is still my best friend to this day. I've always been a girl that was super just into pageants, into the beauty lifestyle in regards to makeup. I would challenge myself and see how tall of a heel I could wear throughout my high school days. And I would be like, okay, just keep them on all day. All I have to do is keep them on all day. And like, that's how I grew up. Like, who you see right now was always cooking, was always developing. I'm the only girl in my immediate family. So I've always been the only girl in my family. I have two older brothers, and I've always just known I was it, and so for me, growing up as a pageant girl, growing up as one of the only Black cheerleaders, like, I've always been who I am today. And now it's just came with more education and more businesses behind me and the opportunity to influence more people with my new platform.
So talk to me about these businesses. So what businesses do you actually have?
So right now, currently, I own Rideau Hair. Rideau Hair was developed as kind of a achievement from my grandmother's hard work that she put in the beauty industry. She started off as an entrepreneur at a very young age, like way back when, and she was able to collect enough money to purchase her first rental property. And after that, she had over 50 homes at one time, all that she was able to accumulate from that first profitable business being in the hair industry. And I developed Rideau Hair in honor of my grandmother, who, by the way, had a 10,000 square foot home growing up. And she had a personalized mailbox painted with Chateau Rideau. And Rideau is our last name. And growing up, I'm seeing Chateau Rideau. I'm like, Grandma, what that mean? And she's like, oh, honey, this is Chateau Rideau. Your last name is Rideau. And the French spelling of your last name is Rideaux. And this house this big, you call it a chateau. And so I was, so I've always been one of the girls that has been lucky enough to have a very classy grandmother that raised me up from, yay high to be this incredible, just knowledgeable woman about who I am, my family history, and everything that I embody.
So before Chateau Charest, there was Chateau Rideau.
Yeah, Chateau Redoux was way long before Chateau Charest. No shade, no tea, but you know, my grandmother was born in what, 39, like 1939. And you know, when I was born into Chateau Redoux. So this ain't me, baby. This is deep history.
So you come from money.
I do come from a successful family.
So why do people think you're a gold digger and a jersey chaser?
Because I'm a beautiful woman who's intellectual, who's dating an NFL player. Typically, you know, people are going to put that narrative on you because they're not used to seeing a lot of Black excellence, not because there hasn't been Black excellence, but more so because we hadn't always had the spotlight.
And baby,
hello? Is
baby.
this thing gone? Okay. Don't play with it.
Let her cook. Let her cook. Okay. Okay. So look, the thing about you that I find so fascinating is the fact that you own the skin you're in. And you remind me of a lot of the girls that I was friends with in high school and a lot of my baddies that I'm friends with today. I hang out with a couple of bad chicks on a regular basis who look like you, who dress like you, who talk like you. I love a baddie. And you remind me of a lot of those girls. And what's so fascinating to me that I want to get into, my friends always said, Lowe's, I was a celebrity in high school and what I have now ain't new.
Absolutely, 1000%.
So when you decided to audition for the Real Housewives of Potomac, how did that come about? Did you like reach out to the casting director? Did they find you? What's the story there?
So me and I actually met through a mutual friend, Dominique the Diva, who is a huge radio personality in the DMV. Yes, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I know Dominique. Yeah.
And her and I was also going to one of the same spas in the DMV area. And so I ran into her before we exchanged numbers. And then we found out, oh, you know Dominique, I know Dominique. And Mia reached out to me and was like, hey, actually, you know, the show I'm on, they actually had told me they had been trying to reach you and kind of wanted to learn more about your story and see if you were interested in being on the same show. And I was like, okay, yeah, definitely. Like, would love to talk to them more. One of the things that most interests me is that they highlight entrepreneur women in the DMV area. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to kind of get my hair business out there and just kind of show the world who I am, who I've always been.
Did you watch Potomac before you decided to go on the casting tape?
Child, I didn't watch enough of Potomac. I watched Potomac for sure. Absolutely. There had been some years where I went through phases of watching Potomac and Atlanta and different things like that. But being a part of the cast, I wasn't really caught up. I had been a few seasons before I really had an opportunity to just really sit down and really follow the show. But absolutely, I watched Potomac before being on the show.
And did you think they needed someone like you to be added to the cast? Did you feel like you were the missing link?
You know, at the time when I'm watching it, I didn't think, oh, I am the missing link. But there were times such as, you know, last season where I felt like, you know what, I'll come up in there and shake the room up a little bit on them girls. That would be a nice little situation. But to be honest with you, Carlos, it was one of those things that I like to call kind of a pipe dream. I was like, you know, eventually I'll get there. You know, some of the ladies are just more established in their marriages and, you know, what they have going on. And I was like, yeah, that would be a cute show for me to be on. And funny enough, a lot of my friends had always, like, when they talk to me on a regular, they'd be like, girl, why do you sound like this person? Or why do you, like, you just give me Real Housewives. Like, even when it came to coming to some of my makeup appointments or hair appointments, people would always ask me if I was already on TV. And I would be like, no, but if you want to give me a discount, go ahead.
No, listen, you were born to be a star. I don't give that word to a lot of people. My raindrops know that I don't overuse that word because you could be on TV and still not be a star, you know, because being on an ensemble show is like a girl group. Mm-hmm. Because you're part of a girl group doesn't mean you're a star. It means you help the background vocals, you help with the dancing routine to make the lead singer or singers in some cases the lead, but you play a very healthy role in terms of the group. So I look at ensemble shows that way. And me, Dustin Ross, and the Raindrops, I tweeted that, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I tweeted that you are a star. And that came across the screen. Why aren't you a housewife, a flute holder? Because you need to be that instead of a friend of. So what happened there?
To be honest with you, Carlos, I really didn't know what the big stink about being full-time versus friend of was. Although I watched the show, I wouldn't really have considered myself an invested fan who understood the differences and things like that. And so for me, I think that I didn't become full-time because production saw other things for season 9. So I came into the show not knowing whether I was going to be full-time or whether I was going to be a friend of, but just that I wanted to share my story, share my business, and be able to get to know these ladies and have their support while I'm in the DMV and just, throughout this new process. So to answer why I wasn't full-time would only be a production that, would only be an answer that production would be able to kind of really answer. I know that I was there, I clocked in, and I was so thankful to be on that platform, but I can't answer one way or another why the reasons were. That's all up to Bravo. At the end of the day, Bravo's got a great professional team on their hands, and I think that regardless of the situation, whatever it was, they made the right decision.
So you think it's fair that you are on the same level as Jacqueline?
I don't consider myself on the same level as Jacqueline at all whatsoever. I think that I bring something completely different than Jacqueline. And to say whether or not we are deserving of the same spot, absolutely. Just, we're talking about tomatoes versus strawberries. This is two different things. It's just two different things.
Are you a tomato or strawberry, baby?
I'm more like a strawberry. Yeah, more like a strawberry.
What are your thoughts on Jacqueline? Because as I'm watching this season, there seems to be a sort of battle between the two of you for Mia's friendship. I want to ask you this. Jacqueline and Mia have taken showers together. They slept with men together. They have been in the showers together with ink. There's been situations that Mia doesn't remember whether or not Jacqueline was present during an intimate moment with people. Have you and Mia ever been intimate with each other? Have y'all showered together? Have y'all dated men together and then brought them home to sleep with them?
Never, not at all whatsoever. As far as that goes, I don't compete where I don't compare. Jacqueline has been in a lot of different situations with Mia that I don't want to compete for or compare myself to at all on any given day, not Monday through Sunday. And so for me, that's not even a conversation. Next.
Why do you think Jacqueline is a baddie neck down? What's wrong with the neck up, baby?
Because the girl is beautiful. At the end of the day, I'm never going to, call someone ugly or something like that if it's not deserving. And Jacqueline is not an ugly girl. I think that she's a beautiful girl in the face. And I think that with some help from my stylist, which she recently got, I think that she could be even more beautiful as she graces our screens, as she's now working with one of my dress designers that I connected her with. And I think that if we were to see her again on the screens, I think that she will be a baddie from the neck up and the neck down. Thank you. I mean, it's the truth, Carlos. Sweetie, let me tell you something. We had that premiere and she was in disarray about her outfit. She called up my people. She actually called up me, and I had flown both my dress designer and one of my stylists in, and they got her together. They got her together as quick as they could, as best as they could. But you know, with a girl like me rooting for her, she can do nothing but win. She'll be all right.
Okay. So you're friends with Mia. I gave Mia the name Mia Be Lion, and it it has stuck. The Mia, does Mia have trouble with the truth?
You know, I'm still getting to know Mia. I am genuinely not the kind of person that likes to label people without truly getting to know them more. Mia and I have hung out a crap ton of times now that we're both on the same platform. But honestly, prior to that, and even now, we haven't had enough moments alone where I could really take a deep dive into who she is and how she has curated her stories and kind of what they may mean to her and why people say she be lying and things like that. I really hadn't gotten to see a whole lot of the Mia be lying side because I'm still very open to getting to know who she is.
What are your thoughts on what's been going on with Karen Huger's DUI? Do you have an opinion just based on, do you think she needs to be more open about it? Do you feel like some of these girls need to mind their business? What is your take?
You know, to be honest with you, it's hard to be open when you are going through something that's very legal. I think that Karen is holding it as best as she can. I actually love me some Karen. And for me, although, you know, we're on a platform where we are expected to give our real realities. However, when you put yourself in a position to be in a legal battle, it's kind of hard to do that. And I don't think she's really doing anything wrong. She keeps telling us that when the court documents come out and the things that she has, you know, kind of been defending comes out, it'll make more sense. So for me, I think that Karen's doing the best that she can with the legal matter.
When it comes to you and Ashley, one of the earlier moments that I fell in love with you is when you and the girls were trying to balance a trip to go to an event between Karen and Giselle's. You arrived at the Giselle and Ashley event, and you were all told to pretty much leave, and you closed the door on Ashley. You also gave the GNA another word that wasn't Giselle and Ashley. You called it something else. Do you remember what you said, baby?
I did. I did. I gave them a new name at
Which
the
is?
time because I felt that it was fitting. And
What was the name, baby?
The name was Gangsters and Alcohol. It was Gangsters and Alcohol. It surely was, because that's how they was behaving. Because what are you doing putting people out, yelling across the room? Girl. Like, what are we talking about here? We are here with open hearts and open wallets. What's the issue? Like, you don't, what? It was just, it was all very confusing for me. And, you know, I had to just let her know that the whole QR code and coming into my Sprinter was just not really going to happen on my watch, because we had just called Ashley and I'm like, Ashley, we're going to be there. We're going to be there to support you. It was very stressful trying to get to two events, especially when you are the new girl on the block. Like, you want to make friends and you don't really know the dynamics between the group when you are coming into this. And so for me, I just wanted to genuinely try to be there for both ladies, because I was getting to know these ladies. And, you know, I just had to do what I had to do once I was kicked out of the event. I was like, all right, you don't get to disrespect me twice, Miss Mamas. Like, that's not gonna fly. You know, we was cool. I was coming into this event with, you know, my wallet open, my heart open to get to know you ladies. And to be greeted like that was just really sad. I was just like, what do y'all have? What y'all got going on that I don't know about? And then you come into my Sprinter, baby, my driver is paid by the hour. Stop playing with me. We getting out of here. Stop playing. Like, what you doing?
What are your thoughts on Ashley overall?
You know, I really love Ashley. I think Ashley and I actually have a lot in common. I think that she's a fun girl. You know, you are the kind of woman that has been in pageants. You're the kind of woman that's just one of those Black girls that's just multiverse. And, you know, she's able to be crazy as she is on the show and then as Buddhist-like as she is, you know, in other ways. But at the end of the day, I appreciate Ashley because Ashley is just who she is. Like, she owns it, and as messy as it is, it's beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful, what are your thoughts on Giselle?
Giselle, you know, I would have liked to have been a little bit closer to Giselle, if I'm being honest. I really thought that Giselle was going to be one of those women who was just terrible after they had kicked us out. But getting to know Giselle and throughout the show, she's shown me a lot of beautiful moments about her life, and just who she is as a mother, who she is as a person. And I think that Giselle is really a nice woman. I think that she just has this hard outer shell. And I understand in some cases, I can relate to having to have kind of a hard outer shell so that people don't take you for granted or people don't mistreat you. So I like Giselle.
Are you and Dr. Wendy cool?
Ciao, I love me some Dr. Wendy. What are we talking about? Educated Black woman, married, successful marriage, kid. What are we talking about? Of course, I love me some Dr. Wendy. Ben, both her and I are both broadcast journalism majors. That was her first degree, might I add. I don't have as many as her. But she has been amazing. I think that she's such a pillar in the communities. I think that watching her on CNN and other news outlets and how she goes back and forth in the political realm is just something that I love to see as a Black woman who also majored in broadcast journalism.
Broadcasting is something that the newbie Stacey is doing when it comes to her relationship with TJ, who I like to call Thick James. TJ is thick. I feel like he needs to be in the body video with Megan Thee Stallion. TJ is thicker than my resume. He's thicker than a plot. He's thicker than Portia.
Portia's thick now. I'll say that.
You say what?
Portia is thick now.
TJ's thicker.
Thick.
When you've been around TJ and Stacey, right?
Mm-hmm. What
vibes do you get when you're around them? Do you feel like it's a budding romance? It's a friendship? It's a storyline? It's a cash app relationship to where after he works for his SAG-AFTRA card, she cash apps him in the alley and says, "Thank you. What is your hourly rate?" The same rate you pay your driver and the Sprinter.
Absolutely not. To be completely honest with you, Carlos, I think that TJ is one of those guys that's like, look, I'm digging you. I like you. I want to be with you. At the same time, you're a whole married woman. I'm not going to get on national television and look like I'm okay with being your side dude. Because essentially, if a woman is married, then technically you're a side piece. So you can't be on national television making a man like TJ, who's classy, intelligent, educated, look crazy. Because it's like, Stacey, let's sign those divorce papers. And I think that when she does sign them, you guys will see the relationship develop. That's what I think, because I've met TJ, and TJ is an amazing guy. I mean, I think that he's a great guy for Stacey, and I think that their relationship is really beautiful. And I think that we'll see that develop once those papers are signed and she has that process kind of situated.
Well, let's talk about that. That's a good transition into you. You have been in the news a lot lately in regards to a transitioning relationship. And I want to give you the opportunity to address this head on.
Sure.
You are in a relationship, engaged to Darius, who I just met, earlier. And he is a Super Bowl champion. Won the Super Bowl this year with the Kansas City Chiefs. There has been tons of conversations about the timeline of your relationship. You have been called everything from his mistress to a homewrecker who took this woman's man, and you were a side piece. Let's talk about that. So, you and Darius met in 2022, correct?
Yes, Darius and I met initially in 2022 is when my fiance and I met.
Okay, so let's do the math. And I'm a journalist. Hey, Portia. So I want to give you the opportunity to clear the air once and for all. So you are alleging that you have been together since 2022.
No, no, no. Let's
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
So let's back it up right there. It's very simple confusion. In the moment that fans saw on TV, right after the moment where I said that we had been dating about 2 years, I also mentioned that like TJ and Stacey, the first year we were just friends. We were just getting to know each other. It wasn't.
Were y'all intimate that first year?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Never. Absolutely not. We were not intimate until 2023. Okay, when we officially got together. So I think that that's a huge missing piece to the puzzle. And, you know, when I saw that clip, I was like, hold on. What about the other part? And so the other part, and I'm here to clear that up, was that Darius and I was just getting to know each other. Once he and I met, Darius took a whole year trying to convince me to fly out to see him. And when he did, his mother and other people were waiting after the game, and that's when I initially met them. Okay,
let me stop you there. When y'all two were communicating the first year, was he in a relationship with his boy's mom, Carlissa?
I think that Darius was identifying as a single man at that time. And I think that he definitely was involved with her. I can't say whether or not it was a committed relationship, but I later found out that in 2022, he definitely was involved with the children of his children's mom of his kids.
They were still in a sexual relationship.
Yeah.
So when he flew you out, technically he was still with his baby mama.
No, we met in 2022. He did not fly me out until 2023.
When? Because
January.
Because January of 2023, there's a video of them kissing, celebrating New Year's.
So January of 2023, it was around the AFC game, which was in later January. And
let me stop you there. I misquoted. There's a video of them allegedly kissing January 2024.
Correct. Not January of 2023. January right. 2023, at the end of January of 2023 is when we first got together. And when I say got together, let me just break it down for you, Carlos. Let me talk to you, my friend, okay? Let me just really break it down for you, okay? Darius and I met 2022, like you mentioned, okay? It was not until 2023 that I decided, okay, like I'll let you fly me out. You know, I had always been the kind of girl that puts my career first. So I wasn't rushing to fly to Kansas City when I be in Milan. I'm always in Cape Town, Milan, and this is all for work. You know, I was an international flight attendant. So when he told me, oh, you know, I want you to come out for the game, this was in January of 2023. Prior to that, I had never flown out to see him. I was making this man run through loops and holes because I'm like, why would I be flying to Kansas City when you could either fly here to show me that you're interested in me? And he was like, you know, I'm trying to work my schedule out, but it would be easier if you could fly here. And I would love to like just have you here in my city and just, you know, get to know you a little bit more. So I allowed him to fly me out there to see him.
Did he fly you first class, coach, or comfort?
It was first class with receipts. Please understand that. It was never going to be nothing else. It was never going to ride standby. It was never going to be a situation where it was a one-way ticket. No, we still have receipts. It was a round trip, first class flight on Delta Airlines. Okay. MCI, DCA to MCI to be exact. That's what it was. Okay.
Okay.
That's what it was for sure. So again, that was January of 2023. January of 2023. Is when that happened. And even then, I still, even after, you know, talking to him from time to time, and nothing was super consistent. Like he would be hitting me up and I would come back into town. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like you hit me up. I was in Milan. Like, what's up? I'm back in town. Like, what you got going on? What you been doing? And he's like, hey girl, like sit down. When you gonna come to Kansas City? And I'm like, Kansas City? You can't come here. And he's like, listen, baby, I'm in season. Like I would take you everywhere you want to go after the season. But for now, like I'm in Kansas City and I want to see you. Like, so sit down a little bit and let a young little, you know, Southern Mississippi boy kind of show you what's up. And so that's why I went out there in January of 2023.
And not to cut you off, did you guys meet by him sliding your DMs?
No, actually, I was in LA waiting for an Uber. I was literally outside the club waiting for an Uber in LA, and Darius and a couple of his friends approached me and my group and was like, "Hey, what's up? Like, what y'all doing? What's the next move? What y'all got going on?" Da 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 da. So we all exchanged Instagrams. We actually took him to his car, and again, it was a group of us, and we actually took him to his car. He got out. We exchanged Instagrams, and that's how we initially met. We were in LA, literally standing outside waiting for an Uber with our group. He came over with his group, like, "What's up?"
Okay. So he's courting you in 2022, and you are
Not
obviously
courting me, because I know that the timelines can get very confusing, but I want to be very clear that in 2022, Darius and I had no intimacy, nor did we ever have any dates at all. I saw this guy once when I first initially met him, and then after that, it was just on the phone. We were getting to know each other, talking here and there.
Okay. So in December of 2023, there's a photo of Darius in matching PJs with the kids and his child's mother. That's in December 2023. You said in 2023 is when you guys got flown out.
January.
You were in January of that year. So in January 2023, you get flued out. Hey, Carisha. But then 11 months later, he's giving Cosby Show tees with matching PJs and a photo. So what happened between January 2023 and December of that year?
So in January of 2023, I go to the game. I meet his parents. I'm talking to him behind, where the family area is and everything, and we're getting to know each other. I stay out there for a couple of days. Still no intimacy. Ladies, take notes. Get your pens and papers out, okay? And get your pearls ready because I'm gonna give you a few. So we get out there in January of 2023. I meet his mama, I meet his family, and I spend a couple of days with him, and I don't give up anything. Okay. So the relationship progressed, and end of February, we started being serious. Darius, since the day he met me, was kind of gagged, just to keep it a bug with you. He was like, I love you. I want you to be my girlfriend. What's up? Like, what do I need to do? And my standards, Carlos, has always been high. I've never been a woman that goes for a man that already has a woman. I've never been the kind of woman that will go for a man who is not rising to the occasion when he sees a woman like me. And so when I met Darius, he was incredible and still is. But he really wooed me in a way that no man ever has. Like from the time that we started dating, seriously, from February, by March, he took me to Paris for 2 weeks. Okay, first class as well on Air France. After
That's $10,000.
He laid out the red carpet for me. Let's be very clear. I was very much so like, yeah, he the one. So we spent a couple weeks in Paris, and after that, when he was released from the team, that's when things really started to change. And by that time, I was already madly in love. I'm like, baby, what do we need to do? Like, what do we need to do? I don't even care about football no more. I'm in love with you. You have respected me. You have laid out the red carpet. You have been a man of your word. You've shown me everything that I would want to see, from meeting your family to meeting your grandma to meeting everybody that I need to meet, to let me know that you're very serious about me and my role that I will be in your life. Okay. So when May came around, he kind of was just like, babe, I was released from my team, and this is a very new dynamic for me. I'm not only worried about how I'm going to feed my son, I'm worried about how I'm going to feed myself. And, this is very hard for me. And because I was so in love with him, I was like, babe, like, I get it. I had lost my grandfather, Vernell, rest his soul, in 2020. And that was the first time that I too had experienced what it's like to be so super sad, where you're like, I don't even know what this new feeling of sadness is. I need to kind of work through this and understand how I'm even feeling. And I can really only just show up for myself right now. And that's the things that Darius had told me that he was going through. But a couple months later, I was like, okay, I understand you're going through something, but you're a man. I mean, you know, like I'm no longer worried about you flying me first class, but at the same time, like we should be working out a schedule where we still are able to see each other and I'm still able to support you with or without your career. And after a couple of
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Jazzy. When y'all were seeing each other starting January 2023, February it got more serious. He flies you out March of 2023 to Paris. During this time where you guys are serious, do you feel like you guys in an exclusive relationship?
Absolutely, for sure.
Did you ever go to his house during this time period?
Absolutely. I went to his house, stayed several times, went to his family's house. I mean, we was locked in. It was like, absolutely. Went to his house. He had spent several days with me, even weeks, you know, and everything was on the up and up for us. It was a beautiful relationship. Always has been. Darius and I have a very healthy relationship. And especially when we first got together, I mean, he gave me no reason to feel anything other than this is my husband.
So what happened because obviously when it comes to athletes, their identity is established in their career, whether it's football, hockey, baseball, whatever. So when he got released from the Chiefs around of May of 2023, you guys are like seriously together for a few months. He's not seeing you as frequently. You understand that, okay, you're dealing with this because you know what it's like to lose somebody in 2020. And you're understanding about this sort of like, I don't want to use words, but maybe a depression, if you will, a sadness, if you will, that he's going through. So what is going on around this spring, summer, hey Sheree, this spring, summer, May timeframe where things are getting a little bit weird because he just got released from the team?
So what's going on around that time is I'm reassuring him that, you know, I'm here for him with or without football. I'm sending him quotes. I'm sending him contacts that I know. I'm letting him know that, you know what, you can be thinking about the things that you want to do after football. Football has been great, but also it's not everything. I'm totally being supportive as the woman in his life. And it did take me a couple of months to be like, all right, well, if you have that much going on and you're feeling, you know, this kind of way, maybe I do need to just take a step back and allow you to get through those kind of emotions. Because again, I was trying to be very supportive of him. And he was telling me like, babe, it's not you, it's just football. And this new dynamic is just something that I wasn't ready for. And I don't know really what to say to you other than trust me when I tell you that everything that I've ever said to you is the truth, and I will still make due to those words that I've ever told you. So
was he truthful with you that at this time he had a child?
Absolutely not, Carlos. He was not truthful. He was not truthful at all. And funny enough, I actually, when we came back from Paris, I did have a dream, which is why Kay in the episode, you'll see, she's like, I had a dream too, girl. I did have a dream. And during this time that this started happening, that dream kind of started coming back up. And I'm like, well, is somebody pregnant? Like, is there something that I don't know about? I don't want to be crazy, but I did have this dream. And he constantly reassured me that that was not the case. I even reached out, you know, I had to call his mom.
So wait, you asked this man if he has a baby on the way and he lied to your face and said no.
Well, Darius says that he didn't lie because, you know, the baby was already here, Carlos. That's the gag.
No, that's the gaslighter, boo. It ain't the gag, it's the gaslighter.
Well, baby, there was no woman pregnant because the baby was here. The baby was born in March, little did I know. But to be honest with you, during this whole time, I'm thinking in my head that there is no baby because he reassured me that there was no one pregnant. And other people in his family also said to me, hey, he's going through a lot right now and he is going to have to talk to you about those things. But in my wildest dreams, I had no idea that there was a second child, especially after asking the direct question on if there was. So, yeah.
Okay, so this is around the time where the first baby is already here.
First baby was already here. This is so when he got released from the team, which is around
May of 2023.
April, ish, was also his second son was born in March of 2023. So I was totally in the dark about that. I had no idea that there was even a second child. I'm like, listen, he's young, he's respectable. He treats me like my husband. There was no reason why I shouldn't have held him down when he was released from the team. And I asked the right questions, and I was told that there was no other kids involved. So at the time, I'm thinking like, okay, this man is just really upset about his career. And I get it, you know, like he was telling me, like, we're thinking about how I'm going to take care of my son and myself as well. So at the time,
instead of saying my son, plural, at the time.
Say it again.
Instead of him saying my sons.
Correct.
Did you feel bamboozled and hoodwinked because here you are around this man's family and they know what's up and they're smiling in your face, you know? Did you feel like you were fooled not only by Darius, but his family as well?
Well, according to them, they found out well after he had found out. So I understood that it was just one of those dynamics where it was like the family also found out kind of late. And, you know, that's one of the things that they had said to us too. Like, we're still trying to navigate this whole situation. So it wasn't our place to tell you what Darius had going on. That's as a man. And I appreciate his mother for doing that. But as a man, she was like, he's going to have to tell you what he has going on.
When did you and Darius in the year 2023 decide to go your separate ways in your relationship?
So after about end of April, early May, we decided to kind of go our own ways. And that lasted until January of 2024.
He got back with his baby mama during this break y'all had.
I'm not sure if he got back with her or what the dynamics were, but I know that he took a picture in plaid pajamas during that time.
Did he get back to her? Did he climb on her back? Were they intimate?
You know, only he could tell you that. I have no idea. And quite frankly, I wasn't that worried about it. You know, I had kind of did my part as the woman in his life at the time. And when I noticed a disconnect and inconsistencies, I was like, you know, I'm going to gracefully bow out of this one because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so I want to ask you a few questions, and if you don't mind.
Sure, please do. I'm an open book.
Yeah, I would love you to bring your man in because he got some answers to you too. But I want to have a real, you know, let's have a real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, okay, when a woman is swept off her feet, when she's getting flown first class to Paris, that is literally $10,000 minimally to fly first class to Paris, right? It's nice, you're gonna wine and dine, and you're and to in your defense though, real talk, because I don't think a woman should ever be blamed for the lack of information a man produces, right? Can you really trust this man knowing that he lied to you? And did you ever feel like, should I continue to be with him or even take him back?
Well, you have to understand that during the time that he and I separated, there was not any sure answers as to what he was going through until January of 2024 when he came to Maryland. And of course, during that time that we were broken up, he reached back out. He was trying to, you know, see how I was feeling about him. He actually got picked up by the Raiders on my birthday, August 1st. And he reached out and was like, babe, like, I got picked up, you know, I'm feeling so much better now. And I told him, like, I'm not interested. I knew that you would be fine, but the way that you treated me and how you just handled what you were going through doesn't work for me. And I'm not interested in getting back together. And I wish you the best of luck. That's what I told him in August of that same year of 2023.
So he courted you again in January 2024.
Yes, he came back. He came to Maryland. He told me that he was going through so much stuff and that he was thankful to be on the other side of it now and that he was feeling so much better. He was so sorry that he was so inconsistent with me during that time, and that who he showed me that he was initially is the person that he is. And he said that, he showed me proof that he would be honest with me moving forward about everything that he had going on, starting with the fact that he was on child support and supporting the children's mother in that kind of way, and that I had really nothing to worry about.
Did he tell you that they took plaid photos weeks before that?
Yes, he did tell me that he was in a Christmas photo with his child's mother, and he told me that, he did what he could to make sure that he could see his sons and to make sure that he wasn't the kind of father that was absent in regards to being able to be around his kids.
So in order to have a peaceful co-parenting relationship, he did what he had to do to
That's how he explained it to me.
Yeah. So, but you now have seen that on New Year's Day, January 1st, 2024, there's a video of him kissing his baby mama.
Mm-hmm. Again, I don't know what the dynamics of that relationship was, because anytime that Darius and I was together, when I say that there was not even an inkling that there may have been a relationship between the child's mother and Darius, because I had always followed Darius on Instagram. And to be honest with you, Carlos, I never seen the child's mother's Instagram until recently on the blogs, because he had always told me that they had each other blocked. And I had never seen her page. So I know that there was a video and a situation where they had went to the same event. I know that because she had told me that when we had a conversation about us getting engaged and things like that. She was like, well, I just think it was fast because I was just with him in January. But in the same breath, Darius was also a single man. And he's like, yeah, we were, trying to see if this relationship could work out at the time. I wasn't dating you. I was, a single man weighing my options, and it didn't work out with her. And shortly after that, he was on child support and going a different direction with who he wanted to be with. It wasn't like he was in a situation where he thought that they were in this happy, healthy relationship, and then all of a sudden just moved out of it. No, he was already, both parties to what I know, was already kind of moving on.
Well, the thing is this, so because obviously he's kissing her January 1st of 2024. Days later, he's flying to see you and trying to woo you back. So obviously they've been intimate, in my opinion, allegedly. They got intimate after they took off the PJs from Marshall's and decided to spend New Year's Day together and kiss each other. He then woos you days later. February, March, April, blah, blah, blah. Y'all get engaged August of that year. So that's February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 7 months later, you are engaged to this man. The baby mama, I hate saying that because she has a name. Her name is Carlissa. I can say it. You don't have to say it. She did an interview recently with Reality T. I like to cite my sources. She has alleged that she always gave Darius the option to leave the relationship after the first baby, but instead he chose to try to work it out.
Giving the man the option to leave the relationship is definitely something that is confusing when I hear that. because to me, it sounded like it wasn't a situation where she was really asking him or telling him he could leave. She was more so telling him he could not be a father if he wanted. And to my understanding, Darius was like, well, no, I'm definitely going to be there for my children, and I'm going to try to be the best father that I can be. Not necessarily saying that I have to be with you in order to be a good father, but more so just saying that I know that you got pregnant pretty fast, but I'm still willing to be here for my child. It's kind of how I got it.
You and Carlissa met for the first time at the Super Bowl.
Yes, 2024 Super Bowl is when we initially met.
Y'all met January 2024. You were in her seat, and you politely got up out your seat to give to her. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So actually, if we're being honest, what really happened is, to my understanding, Darius asked if the children could come to the game with his mother. She refused because she knew that I would be there. When she knew that I would be there, she said, absolutely not. I will be bringing my sons to the game. And if my sons are going to the game, I also have to be there. So because that was the situation, Darius was like, well, okay. And initially, I think that he could have told her, well, no, Jazzy won't be there, because he wanted his kids to be there. That was his main thing. He was just like, let me say what I got to say, because at the end of the day, I want my kids here. And I want my kids to come by way of my mother. And, you know, the child's mother was like, no, I will be there and I will bring the kids. So initially I went to the game with his sister, his mom, his grandfather, the whole family. We went to the game as a family. And midway through our ride there, the mom was like, okay, so his child's mom is going to bring the kids to the game. No one told me that I had seats below them, a couple rows ahead of them. The mom was just like, listen, I don't know if she's gonna come or not, because she knows that you're gonna be here, but we're at the game, like, let's just sit together. Carlos, when I was sitting in my seats comfortably with my Dior shades on, honey, and my red Fox, I had no idea that this was even his child's mother pulling up. I had never seen this woman's page. Trust me, I look for it. Cause I'm like, where the baby mom at? You know, and I don't mean to call her baby mom like that, but you know, she's his child.
Yeah, because you want to, you know, listen.
And let me say this, she deserves the utmost respect. At the end of the day, it's a relationship that I genuinely want to be healthy. And I know that sometimes we might slip up and we say BM and things like that, but at the end of the day, she is a very great mother to two of his sons. So I in no way, shape, or form ever wants her to feel disrespected. So I apologize for calling her a BM. But when she came, I had no idea that this was his children's mother at all. At all. I didn't even recognize the kids. We was chilling. I'm there with the family. You know, we like eating our popcorn, having a good time. And the lady comes up and I noticed her attitude was kind of like, these are our seats. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I'm oblivious. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Because the mom had said, like, oh, just sit there. But, you know, like, we'll just kind of see how things go, whatever. So when she came, I even texted mom. I was like, oh, that's the child's mama. I was like, oh, because you have to understand, 2 days prior to that, at the Super Bowl, is when I found out that not only did he have a second son, but that it was by her. This entire time, I didn't think she was even a factor in his life. I thought that they were genuinely having a co-parenting situation. When this man told me, I have a child, like a baby, I started laughing. I said, you mean like on the way? And he said, no, it's already here. He's one. I said, wait a minute. So it was a psychological thriller for me. I'm like, I admit, everybody it is to me and your family. Ain't nobody. If anything, people reiterated the fact that they didn't know much about any other woman ever being a part of his life. So for me, it was a true shocker to find out that not only do you have a second kid, you have a second kid by your first son's mother. But one thing that made me kind of relax in the situation was when he told me the timeline. He's like, well, she had the baby in March. I'm doing the timeline. I'm like, we got together in January. Then that means that before we were even together or intimate, she was already pregnant. So I was upset about the lie, but I was never upset about the child because I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Like, you have another child that was here before me. And quite frankly, anything that he did while we weren't together is really none of my business.
No, listen, it isn't. What is your business, though, is for you to have a man who's honest with you, right?
Correct.
Who's truthful with you, doing the courtship. You know, because you can fly me all around the world, but I would like to know that while we're dating, you know, you have a woman who has your seed, you know, in her belly.
It was a very hurtful lie. Don't be.
Yeah.
It was a very, very hurtful lie. When I found that out, I was so taken aback about anything that he had ever told me because I'm like, wait a second. You mean, if anything, I was thinking that it was another child from another woman, if at best. And so again, seeing as though I had no idea of the situation and no one that was in his life, you know, they talked to me as if there was not really anything to worry about in regards to that side of it. I was extremely hurt. I was extremely shocked. And I just was replaying some of the moments where I'm like, baby, where was it that I went wrong? I've always been the kind of girl that asks the right questions. Like, I'm clocking it from the jump. Who is this? What is this? What's going on? I don't have time to play games. I don't really do the small boy games in regards to, like, you know, the lies and the things like that. So for me, I thought that I was coming into a situation where a man was being totally honest with me. And that was really hard for me to get over.
I know our time is limited, so I want to get a few things out before I let you go. On the show, we did see you emphasize, okay, no woman matters before me. It's only been me. Boom, boom, boom. It appeared like that was a diss to his child's mom.
So absolutely not. And I'm glad that you brought that up. First of all, his child's mom got to realize that, number one, baby, I am on Real Housewives. Okay. It was never about her. It was always about my defensiveness toward the ladies who I knew was trying to actually rip apart my relationship or discredit my relationship. And I was just trying to get the point across that, look, y'all don't got to be trying to look my man up about marriage and XYZ. He ain't been in no relationship. And I didn't mean it like, oh, he's never been involved with another woman or anything like that. But the way it came across, I even clutched my pearls because without the context, there was a lot of moments where a few of the ladies constantly were questioning me about his previous relationships, constantly questioning me about his children and things like that. So I was on defense. And honestly, I wholeheartedly apologize to his children's mother for not considering how she may have felt. You know, your first year on the show, you come into the show and all you know is you're around a group of beautiful women who's gonna come for you. And so for me, I'm on defense. It was much bigger than her. It was more so like, listen, I got 7 different women coming after me about my relationship, and I just want them to stop and know that, like, anything previously ain't what this is. Okay. But in doing so, it appeared that I diminished what they had. And that was never my purpose. My purpose was just to defend myself and my relationship, period.
Got it. Okay. No, and I'm glad you said that because, again, you did nothing wrong in this situation, and nor did Clarissa. You know,
and to be honest with you, the thing is, I never wanted to put us in a place where it would be a situation where we are like, oh, well, why are you saying this or why are you saying that? I really rather directly go to the source. And, you know, before all of this came out, there was a fake page that reached out that said, I'm going to go to the blogs. You think you're getting married, Miss Harris? Well, just make sure your man is not cheating on you. I'm going to go to the blogs and prove that he's a cheater. And then a day later, this whole story of him with his plaid pajamas on and such like that came out. And for me, it was just like, that to me wasn't necessary, because if you understood the context and if you understood why I was saying those things, then you would kind of maybe just understand where I was coming from. And I hate that it came across like that, because I'm like, Child, it was never to be put out like that. But unfortunately, as a rookie, I really didn't have anybody to say, Jazz, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. This is reality TV. This is our real realities. And there's no kumbayas when you're a newbie on the squad. They're like, girl, who are you? What you doing in our circle? Let's break down da 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 da. So I didn't have anyone to say, hey, as a fiance that's transitioning within a new family, maybe consider how the mom might feel. Maybe consider this and that. And that's something that I do plan to do as I go forward on this platform. It's just to consider how she might feel, whether it's my truth or not.
Do you two have a relationship? When was the last time you spoke to her?
The last time I spoke to her was when I informed her that Darius and I would be getting engaged and buying a house and everything. And that was around probably around May or so. I did, reach out via Darius, and a conversation was just something that she didn't want to have with me at the time. I think that now we're in a better place and we're trying to navigate these new dynamics, because I think her thing was just like, girl, now you say in 2 years, now you dipping in when it was my time, which I get. Like, sis, I definitely get it. But without context, again, that first year, I said, like TJ and Stacey, we was just getting to know each other. It was nothing serious. I was very much so into my career. It wasn't until 2023 that we actually got intimate and began being serious. And she told me that she had found out about him dating me in March of 2023. And she told me that it was very hurtful for her because she had just had her son and she did want to be with Darius, is what she told me. So I can understand why, she had those feelings. And then, knowing about me in March, knowing that we broke up by May, and then by December, they're in Plaid. By January, he's back on my line. By August, 7 months later, I'm engaged. But Darius has always been serious about me, and he's always shown me that. And so our relationship has always been a relationship that has been, very serious and very much so. I'm willing to meet you where you are. And where I am, where I always have been, is a place that, he had to rise to the occasion.
Well, listen, I really appreciate your honesty and transparency. I would love to say goodbye to Darius if he has time to say goodbye to me. Is he around? Is he behind the computer giving you notes?
No. He's somewhere over there. Babe, come. Hey, you want to ask him anything?
I got you, sis. I'm always here for the girls.
Baby, ask him. Okay.
I'm gonna ask him, girl.
Come sit on the green couch. Let's talk about it, baby. Why are you looking like that?
Looking like what?
Who's you on the phone with over there?
Keith.
Okay.
Hey, man. So before I let your beautiful fiance go, obviously I want to give you the opportunity as well to clear the air. So I won't keep you too long. But, listen, your beautiful fiance has explained the timeline to me and everything makes sense. And Darius, obviously, it does appear that you weren't truthful in informing Jazzy at the time that, you had a baby on the way. She acted directly, and it was a technical gaslighting situation where, you said, well, no, because the baby technically wasn't there. So what was the reason for you to want to keep that a secret, knowing that you were spending time and money trying to, be with Jazzy?
Man, it was just something that was hard to tell her when I knew I wanted to be with her. So, it was just kind of, it's like, how do I break it down to her, even though I want to be with her? And obviously, telling somebody there who you want to be with, who you want to be serious with, is how that can go. That can go either one way or another. So I just kind of was selfish in my way not to say nothing, hoping that we can still work our way to being where I know we can be, and then telling her later. But it's just kind of hard to tell somebody something of that magnitude news when kind of being a coward about it. And just kind of running away from it instead of telling her, because I knew I wanted to be with her at the end of the day.
Listen, you were giving, Huxtables, Roseanne Barr TV sitcom opening tease with the plaid pajamas. Is you, Clarissa, the two boys in December. And then in January, you guys spent New Year's Eve together. she has the video of y'all kissing, and then days later you wanted to get back with Jazzy. So it does appear that real talk, it does appear that you were trying to have your cake and eat it too. And not a lot of men are going to pose in plaid pajamas and then spend New Year's Eve with their children's mom without it being deemed as serious.
I understand what it may look like outside looking in, but the fact that I know that I was doing what I mean, yes, I did take a picture and everything, but just to be with my boys, but I know the magnitude of the situation, and I know that we were not together. And even on New Year's Eve, I think me just kind of not having Jasmine around and being a good person and having her around, obviously, the kiss and everything, I see what it looks like, but no, we wasn't together or anything like that. And
were y'all intimate during December, January?
No, we was not.
So after New Year's Eve and y'all kissing on camera, y'all didn't have sex afterwards?
No, we did not.
Don't be lying, baby. Did y'all have sex?
Again, no, we did not.
So when y'all took the plaid pajamas, when y'all took them off, y'all didn't go in the same bed together?
No, because she went to her house and I went to my house, meaning that we had our own places and we was not together. Again, just because, of pictures and everything, which I get, but just because you see one thing, that doesn't tell what's actually going on in real life.
Okay, my last question for you is this. How can Jazzy trust that you are going to be an honest man the moment you two decide to say I do, knowing that this beautiful woman fell in love with you the moment you flew her out and romanticize her? How
Pictures at the Louvre and everything, Lord.
So Darius, how sure can Jazzy be that you will be a faithful man that won't lie to her the moment you guys, as of today and for the rest of your lives as you guys get married?
Because Jasmine is in a relationship with me and I'm in a relationship with Jasmine. So first and foremost, as long as me and her, she understands that there's nothing out, everything's already out. That was the biggest, ball to drop. Now that that's uncovering, we're dealing with that. We know, she know I have 2 boys and that was the biggest thing. So there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to that I know that can harm our relationship because I've dealt with that. We went through that and still ongoing as we continue to go through and other people try to put their opinions on things, which obviously if I don't have anything better to do with my life, of course I would try to get into somebody's life who's on a platform as hers or who look as good as her or who's just intelligent and glowing as her to try to put in, try to put their opinion like I put in everything. But I feel like as long as we continue to, I continue to do my part and just showing her that she didn't make a mistake by being engaged to me, by being my fiance, my future wife, and I just continue to do things the right way and don't put myself in a situation like that, I feel like everything will be good. Because at the end of the day, long as me and her are on the same page and we have the stories and we have our relationship together in home and in real life, everything else really doesn't matter. But the as we go forward, that's just making the main thing the main thing. And the people's opinions matter the most are the ones who we truly care about and who we actually know.
All right, Darius. Look, I will say this. Listen, this is me being honest. I like the 2 of you. And I really want to see this relationship manifest into a healthy marriage. We all make mistakes. Your children's mom did speak out in a recent interview and she did not bash you. So, and I want to be able to really give her the props that she didn't bash you. She wanted to clear up some timeline. Not sure what that would mean for the 2 of you co-parenting moving forward, but do the 2 of you have a good co-parenting relationship?
There's no, before the past couple weeks in this issue, there was no issue. There was no, if anything, I know I call to check on the boys and make sure they're good. And it's, a pretty healthy relationship pertaining to boys, at least before, this.
Okay. One more thing. I want to clear this up. She did say, however, that your second son was born within 27 weeks early because she felt like that relationship stressed her out. Would you like to respond?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are getting it misconstrued, and I think they might have said the second. I don't know if people running with this or trying to say it's the second one, or trying to piece together a timeline and everything. But that would be my first one. So that's like
the first one was born within 27 weeks.
Yes, he was born premature. Yes,
he was born premature, and she said allegedly that it was the cause of the stress of your relationship. Would you like to?
I mean, as a man, I don't think I can speak on a woman's health on why I came earlier, this and that. Like we mentioned before, from not being able to have a child to being able to have one. So I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but obviously I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what happened or why my first son came premature. But we are glad that he's healthy and he has no major problems now, and he's thriving and growing and being able to talk and articulate himself and becoming a handsome, smart young man.
All right. So Jazzy, do you want to have a beautiful baby girl? Is it plans to have kids?
Once we get married, we definitely are planning for a family, and I would love to have twins. My baby is a twin, and I want twins and get back in my gym regimen. So that if it's Lord's willing and God's blessing, I'll give them 2 and be done. Because we're gonna have a daycare in a minute.
Yes. Well, look.
No, thank you. And to be honest, I want to reiterate the fact that our main focus is to have a healthy relationship dynamic. At the end of the day, Darius has not been an angel. He did tell some lies to both his child's mother and myself. I've tried my best as a rookie to respect her children. I didn't mention their names on my platform, but I was still in a position where even I had to clutch my pearls because I knew that was not my intent. So I want to send her a lot of love. Navigating relationships in general, I'm a woman first, and they can be very difficult. When we think about our natural everyday lives, like your relationship and who you are with throughout your life, who you choose to have children with, that's something that can really make or break you. So I want to send her a lot of love and just say to her that my goal is always to respect her and to provide a healthy and very safe environment for not only her, but especially the children that they have together.
You will one day make a great first lady of the United States. I will say that. Listen, baby, I am hooked. I'm hooked. You won me over.
Carlos, that means something.
You had me at hello. And I will say with you, Darius, listen, I like you. And I'm not going to sit up here and chastise the man who lied in the beginning, because no disrespect to my gender, that's what do. But at least you're able to be honest about it. And I am so happy that the two of you took the time out to clear the air, and the fact that you did it in a respectful way to these boys' moms, because everything you said is so beautiful. And I really am advocating for the two of you to be full-time. Now, Darius, I know you got a whole career, and that's fine.
He literally just got out of practice. That's why he has on a hoodie and
no, it's fine. No,
for his lift. And I was like, baby, help me with these lights.
No, he's good. And I listen, Darius, I'm a huge fan of your fiance. I'm advocating for her to be a full-time housewife. She is a star. I see why you flew her out. I see why you courted her. I see why you approached her at the valet in Los Angeles after the club. And listen, I see why you do have a woman who is a rarity, and I want you to protect this Black woman. I want you to love up on her. I want you to be able to create and foster an amazing co-parenting establishment, because as the men of the household, you are the leader of this situation, and these two women can only be healthy with each other if that is what you provide for the both of them, which is safety. Okay.
All right.
So that's my advice for you as your older big brother. Jazzy.
Thank you for the advice.
Yes, no, listen, you're so welcome. I love Black love, and I want to see this, I really want to see you guys succeed and win. And who knows, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers to the Lord, that if you guys are going to get married this year or next year, whenever, that we get to see it on the show, especially as you're holding a flute. So look, thoughts and prayers in this co-parenting relationship. And I really, 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 really wish the best for the two of you. I'm sold. I believe in this relationship, and I believe you guys are going to be prosperous.
Thank you so much, Carlos. It's been amazing just allowing you to get to know me. Shout out to my hair company, Rideau Hair. Shout out to the initial person that ever reached out to me about Real Housewives of Potomac. Adrienne, thank you very much, baby. And honestly, I just want to say a huge thank you to Bravo in general for just seeing the star in me. At the end of the day, this is no small platform. We come on this show. They tell us to be ourselves, give our reality. And it's harder than a lot of people may think, but we ground ourselves in transparency and authenticity. And I'm very thankful to be where I am today and have this platform to allow people to get to know me better.
No, thank you. And like I said, you have a fan of the raindrops. So, welcome.
Raindrops, okay, and raindrops for Jack.
So welcome to our crazy world and raindrops. You can watch the Real Housewives of Potomac every Sunday, 8:00, 7 Central on Bravo. And then you can catch it the next day on Peacock. So make sure you guys clock in. This is the best season that I've seen in a while on Potomac. It's a top tier season. It's a 10 out of 10. So I encourage everybody to please lock into the Real Housewives of Potomac. You would not be disappointed. This is an amazing season. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Bye,
Thank
Carlos.
you, Dollface.
Talk to you later.
I'll see you, babe. Thank you.